Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Sports Rant. And we had some massive news in the NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders trade their star defensive end, Max Crosby, to the Baltimore Ravens for two first round picks, uh, one in 2026 and their next one in 2027. I'm going to break down for you today why this is a bad trade for the Ravens and why I think this will end not in a Super Bowl, but in just frustration more in Baltimore. And you'd say, well, Max, why do you say this is a bad trade? They just acquired probably the best, outside of Miles Garrett, the best defender in the entire league. You've praised Max Crosby. Come on, man. Why don't you think this is a good trade? The reason I don't think it's a bad trade because they got Max Crosby. I think it's a bad trade because the Ravens are 31st in cap space. They are negative $12.1 million over the cap. That is atrocious. That is terrible. Besides, also, you know who wants an extension? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's extension will probably take up around half of the cap space. And I was looking at it. Max Crosby's deal that he had with the Raiders before he went to Baltimore was a 3-year, $109.5 million extension last March. Made him the highest pass rusher in the league. Of course, they can restructure it. They don't have to use that deal specifically, but he is still going to be a premium cost player. He's not going to play for peanuts. He doesn't deserve that. It's absolutely ridiculous. So this is what here's what my thought process is. The Raiders and uh, Ravens are both going into this new horizons with new head coaches and a lot newer. Everything's new. And for Jesse Minter, the new head coach of the Ravens, this is kind of a win now. We gotta get a great player, but you got to pay guys like Roquan Smith, who is one of the great linebackers in the league. You got to play Kyle Hamilton, who's one of the great safeties in the league. You're going to lose people. That's just going to happen. You already pay Lamar Jackson a premium, and we see what happens with the highest paid players in this league. Dak Prescott was not in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes not in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson missed the playoffs last year. Had some injury issues. I don't think this is quite the slam dunk everybody is saying it is. I think it's a great move for the Raiders, to be honest. They have now two first round picks. They have the first overall pick and they have the 14th. They will be able to probably either acquire a weapon or a tackle, which is what they will need. They will be able to build their own identity with this new head coach and this new kind of path and quarterback and they are setting themselves up for success. Yeah, sure, I can see the Ravens improving defensively, but there's a problem. That's not winning football. We've seen that most recently with the Seahawks and the Eagles. The Eagles are, well, I guess are kind of like an out case, but the Seahawks specifically, they built out their roster. They were not super expensive at any position, but they were just very good at everything, and they won football games. Sam Darnold was not taking up half the cap space. You see a lot of good teams making the playoffs, like the Broncos, Patriots, Bears, with quarterbacks on rookie deals. It's because they're cheap and you can build around them. Lamar Jackson's not cheap. That's why I'm kind of shocked that the Ravens took Max Crosby because it doesn't really make sense for roster construction. You have a quarterback who is either injured or an MVP. Lamar Jackson is an amazing player. But let's be serious. This isn't going to help you. because you need details. You need interior alignment. You need depth at running back. You need a weapon outside of Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews is getting old. It does not seem like a winning decision to me. That's why I think it's a bad trade. It's it's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. But that is really my thoughts on that. I think it's a bad trade. I don't like it. I think the Ravens are screwing themselves. Uh, but it's not because they're acquiring Max Crosby. It's the price tag he's going to be coming with. But now, what does this trade mean for the Las Vegas Raiders? They lose a cornerstone franchise guy, but I think this is exactly kind of what Clint Kubiak wanted. You know, send away the old blood, send away somebody who's expensive, but uh, you get another first round pick. Like I said, you get another first round pick. You can acquire a tackle, which your quarterback will need. You guys are terrible on the offensive line. You can get you have so many more options now because you have that first round pick, and then next year I'm assuming that the Ravens are not going to win the Super Bowl, so that pick is going to be pretty good next year in 2027. But of course, they're all hypotheticals. It's all fugazi fairy dust. But you can build in your own image and likeness. You can build around what you want your team to look like. Whereas with Jesse Minter and the Ravens, you're going to be limited because you are paying two guys 99% of the cap.